Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for our Data Science for Business webinar today. So my name is Lucy Welch. I'm your Students Enquiries Advisor. So you may recognise my name if we've spoken over the phone or via email before. So as an attendee, your mic and videos have been disabled. So to interact, you'll just need to use the chat function. Although we do welcome questions, we do ask that you ask your questions at the end of the presentation and use a Q&A section on the right-hand side of your screen, although we will be monitoring the chat section as we go through. So the Q&A section, as I say, is on the right-hand side of your screen. You'll be able to ask any questions you'd like, or if anyone else has asked a question that you think is particularly relevant to you or you'd like to be answered imminently, you can upvote their question and then that will go to the top to be answered by Dr. Mandeville at the end of the presentation. So with that said, I'll hand over to Dr. Mandeville now.
Everyone, my name is Kepa Mandeville. I'm the Program Director for the Masters in Data Science for Business. Absolutely delighted to be speaking to you today. As my colleague Lucy said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a set of slides, a brief presentation about the University of Stirling, and then I'll talk in a bit more detail about the program, the MSc Data Science for Business, and then there'll be ample time for answering any questions that you've got around the university, the program, and any other issues that you might have in mind. So first of all, the University of Stirling is based just north of what we call the Central Belt in Scotland. The Central Belt of Scotland is the main artery between Glasgow and Edinburgh, and Stirling is based just half an hour from these two cities. So in terms of the location, it's very strategically placed. In half an hour, you're in both cities and both airports, and also gives you access to the lovely countryside of the Highlands of Scotland. So it's called it's also known as the gateway to the Highlands in a way, Stirling. So very practical location in many ways, Stirling. It's a vibrant city, very historical, the usual cafe, pub culture, also for art, big music scene. So a really nice place to actually spend a year as a student. So moving to the next slide, the university itself, we've got around 14,000 students, give or take. A big population of undergraduate students. There is just over 10,000 undergraduate students and just under 4,000 postgraduate students we've got in the university. You will see from the slides, very international. We've got over 120 nationalities represented on campus as we speak, and 20% of these students, of the total students, are basically from overseas. So really multicultural, international, which really helps the overall student experience for you guys. And in total, we've got roughly around 1,500 staff members located mainly in this campus in Stirling. We also have a campus up north in Inverness, but mainly most of the staff are based in this campus in Stirling. Some stats around the university. We've been doing very well in many of the rankings over the last few years. We've come third in Scotland for overall student satisfaction, which is always a good indicator of the quality of the learning experience that students go through. We're delighted, especially to be first in Scotland for welcoming international students. So that was a great credit to the effort that the university puts in making you feel welcome in the university. You might have heard of the campus of Stirling. It's an absolutely beautiful campus, and again in rankings we came up as first in Scotland and the UK for the campus environment. The university is based just outside the city of Stirling in a lovely environment, right in the middle of a natural environment with its own lawn, surrounded by hills. So it's a really nice place to be and enjoy while you study in the university. And we've got other accolades as well. The first one's in Scotland for teaching, the quality of the lectures and performance feedback. and first in Scotland and second in the UK for the sporting facilities. The University of Stirling is a leading sports university, apart from many other areas of expertise, and the facilities are very unique in terms of the access that you get to fantastic sporting facilities. And we would hope that you enjoy those when you're here with us. A few photographs of the campus. Again, you might have seen some of these in our website. That's the log in the middle of the campus, and on the back, the buildings, the white buildings that you can see on the back, are the student accommodations, which sit right in the middle of the campus. The city is, as I said before, I won't spend too much time. It's a medium-sized city, Stirling, slightly smaller than Edinburgh and Glasgow, but still plenty of activity in the city. It's a safe and vibrant city. It's more affordable than Glasgow and Edinburgh, so in that sense, is more attractive from a financial perspective. Very focused on the students. There is thousands of students obviously around Stirling, so the students actually bring a unique atmosphere to the city. Very warm, friendly, and community feel. You will feel it's a large enough city, but you will feel very often feels like a small enough place that you get to know many of the people that live around you in the city. This slide gives you an indication of some of the costs. I'm not going to dwell too much. We can share these slides with you, but you can have a look at those. We understand that these are very important things for you, but it can give you an idea of what the cost of living in the university and Stirling would be. So I'm not going to, as I said, I'm not going to talk about these things in detail, but we'll pass you this information. You can have a look at this on your own time. Facilities, I mentioned earlier the sporting facilities, and again highlight that those are absolutely world-class sporting facilities. Beyond that, we obviously have again a fantastic library that gives you access to textbooks, electronic books, electronic catalogs of journals. The library and the study zone is open almost all the time, 24/7 for some of the areas, and it provides lots of small group and private study rooms that you can actually use them to when you're working in groups, but also when you're trying to get peace and quiet and learn concentrate to learn for your exams, which is where we are now. We're right in the middle of exam period as we speak. So that's the library. Then we've got our virtual learning environment, which is called Canvas. The university invested heavily in upgrading the virtual learning environment system last year. So it's a brand new system we call Canvas, which has made a massive difference to the students' experience in using online material. So this is what gives you access to all the material. It gives interaction with the staff. It gives you access to all lecture slides, notes, the feedback that you get from the students, plus many other quizzes and tutorial type content. So that was the first part of my presentation, and I wanted to give you just an overview of some of the aspects and characteristics of the university itself. What I'm going to do now is actually focus in a bit more detail around the course, which is Data Science for Business. The course is split as the majority of master's degrees in 2 different semesters. And this slide gives you an indication of the modules that you will be taking in both semesters. In the first semester, which we call the autumn semester, there is 5 different modules that students in this course go through. The first module is not a module as such. It's a 2-week intensive induction period that all the students get through. And during these 2 weeks, we actually want to make sure that you familiarize with the university, with all the processes, all the services that are available. And we also work on your personal and professional skills development. So from communication skills to teamwork into presentation skills. Really, it is about building your confidence so that then you can actually face the challenges and that you're going to have during the year. So it's really about building your resilience and confidence to actually make sure that you succeed in your masters. So the core modules are understanding and using statistics, a really important module for the data science program. All these modules are 20 credit modules, except the personal and professional development I shown at the bottom of that list. So we start with the statistics. This is followed by business analytics. And what business analytics does is takes the learning from statistics and helps the students to develop the skills to actually use statistics to solve real business problems. So it's a very practical, hands-on module, business analytics, where you apply statistics to actually solve problems or organizations. You will also learn, we use SPSS as the main statistical tool in here, and you also learn about Simulate, which is a sophisticated simulation model to model business processes. Another core module in semester one is the big data scientific and commercial applications, and this is a broad module around big data, very much focused on we bring lots of external experts from different fields of analytics that tell us what are the challenges and opportunities around big data, how companies are using big data to solve real problems on a daily basis. So it's very practical in that sense. Personal and professional development, this is about you and your career. So this is about developing you to actually make sure that once you leave the university, you succeed in the next steps of your professional career. So it's about building your resilience, your leadership skills, your managerial skills, your team working skills, negotiation skills, all these things, all these soft skills that are not obvious in many master's degree are really critical to succeed in the marketplace. And when we talk to companies, one of the things that we hear very regularly is that one of the areas that makes our students different from others is that they not only have the technical expertise, but they also bring those personal skills that are critical to succeed in the marketplace. So that's the first semester, and that will take you all the way between September and December. And then after your Christmas break, you come back for the second semester in January. And in the second semester, you've got two core modules. The first one is a business consulting group project. And this particular module has two elements. The first element is to develop your consulting skills. We see this as a core element of this program. We see one of the big opportunities for the students and graduates from this course is to actually move into data analytics related consulting jobs. So this is very important. So it's about developing your consulting skills. That's the first part. And the second part is actually using those skills and applying them, working in collaboration with a real industrial organization. So the students just completed this project, this year's students, and we've been working with companies like Diageo, the National Health Service, Deloitte, Visit Scotland. So we've had a number of companies that came to us, giving us data-related challenges, and the students having actually acting as consultants, solving those problems for them. The second module that is core as well is strategic management, and this is where, again, I think this course differentiates from others, which is about providing you with advanced managerial skills, so that you don't not only understand analytics, but you're able to see and apply analytics in the context of business strategy. And then there are some electives that you can choose from, and there's a list there of data analytics or risk management in banking or a number of more managerial electives. In reality, about 95% of the students over the last 2 years have chosen data analytics as their elective course. And this is where you specialize more in particular tools like machine learning tools like Weka, statistical tools like R. So data analytics gives you the more technical depth that data scientists require. And that's why this elective module is so popular. And then once you complete the second semester, and as I said before, we're right in the at the end of the second semester. Students are currently submitting their assessments, their assignments, and sitting their exams. So the second semester roughly finishes by the end of the second week of May. And then you get a break, and then between the start of June and August, you'll carry out a project, an individual capstone project that takes anything between 10 and 12 weeks. So you've got a choice of doing a dissertation or a consultancy project. And so basically what you will be doing is you will be carrying out a project using data science tools and methodologies. You will have an academic supervisor, and in some cases, you will have the opportunity to collaborate with industry during this project. So that's if you choose to do a consultancy project. And basically, you will be working on topics that are specialized. So that allows you to become a real expert on that particular field. So whether you're applying R to solve issues for the National Health Service, or you're using some statistical predictive modeling tools to model how flight paths for Edinburgh Airport, for example, are gonna work in the next 2 weeks. What this project allows you is to really become an expert in that particular field. Okay, and that's really important because the essence of doing these projects is to, one, develop your expertise, develop your confidence, at the end of the day, to really showcase your skills to the future employers. Is to put you in a position that when you finish your degree, you can show something to future employers that is attractive for them so that you get a really good job at the end. Okay, so some of the examples from previous years, the first one I've got there was to develop a predictive model that models customer churn. This is the probability of customers leaving a company. So if you're able to model customer churn, then you can actually can be much more proactive looking after your current customers so that they don't leave your companies. And this was in partnership with a telecom organization. Another quite very different project was to look at children and family services for a local council. So this is where local councils provide support services for families and children with special needs. So it was really using data to again model and target those services that are most required by certain individuals in the local area, so that the council could be more efficient, but more importantly, provide better services to the people located there. Another project was working with the banking and finance, with a bank in Scotland. So banking and finance are a big recruiter of students from this course. And it was really about applying statistics to understand the commercial value of one of the key performance indicators, which is the Net Promoter Score. This was a really successful project, and the company has come back to us this year, and we've run another 2 projects with them again. And the fourth example I've got there was on text analytics. Text analytics is becoming more and more important and more relevant, and the technologies are developing relatively fast in this area. So this was a very innovative project that we carried out with the National Health Service, again, looking at the application. It was a feasibility study on how text analytics could be applied to improve the treatment for cancer patients. So you can see that the scope, the nature of the projects is very different and diverse, and it covers many different sectors from health to telecom to public service. So there's a range of opportunities there. At the end of the day, data can be applied in all different contexts. So the benefits, why would I say that you should come and do this study, this degree with us? Well, the first thing I would tell you is that the course has been developed in collaboration with industry. We were always very clear that we're developing a data-related course. We needed to understand what industry was asking for. So we kept that in mind and designed a course that we believe developed graduate skills that industry needs. And at the end of the day, it's going to help you get a data science job at the end of the master's. So in that sense, we worked collaboratively with SAS, and many of you will be familiar with SAS, one of the leading data analytics software development organizations globally. We work with HSBC. We've got a very good relationship with them, and they were telling us what their particular needs were, which were relevant to the finance and banking sector. And we also work very closely with the Data Lab. The Data Lab is Scotland's data science research centre, which leads many data science related initiatives across Scotland, the UK, and internationally. So we partnered with all these organizations to really develop a course that we were confident that was going to create graduates with the skills that industry needs. And having looked at the jobs that last year's graduates have ended up, I think we really succeeded in designing a course that meets those requirements. So another benefit is that you will have opportunities to work on real-life data analytic projects with real clients. And these are clients that we've worked over the last 2 years. So we've got clients like Deloitte, one of the top 4 management consulting firms, Virgin Money, a large UK bank, the National Health Service. We've got Council, the Stirling Council, that we proactively collaborate. Diageo, you're probably some of you familiar with them, one of the leading international drink manufacturers. Contract Scotland, a recruitment firm. Scotland Excel is the Scottish Government's procurement agency, managing a budget of over £1 billion every year. And then we've got Visit Scotland, which is Scotland's tourism agency. So we work with companies of high profile, some of them global, and certainly all of them leading in the areas of data and data analytics. So students, you will have an opportunity to work with these companies, and in some cases you will have opportunities to actually do internships or consultancy projects during the summer with some of these companies as well. Okay. So some of you might prefer to do a dissertation side as a consultancy project. So we work very closely with industry, and the opportunities are there to engage with many of these companies. And I think this is something that we believe that this course is quite unique on, in giving you that close access to many of these organizations. Another benefit is to actually come to Scotland and be part of Scotland's unique data science ecosystems. And I say unique because Scotland, if you look globally, Scotland is quite a unique place. We're small enough as a country to bring all the resources together. But apart from that, both the Scottish government and the Scottish industry has invested heavily on data science skills, on data science startup organizations, and the quality of the data that you will find in many areas of Scotland is some of the best in the world, that gives you access to actually apply many of those skills. So the Data Lab provides a really interesting hub to make this ecosystem work. They bring together lots of companies, startup organizations, large organizations, to network with the students. And you and all your colleagues in this course, you will have the opportunity to go to many of these networking events. For example, the Scotland Data Science and Technology Meetup is, if not the largest, one of the top 3 largest meetup events on data science in Europe. And this happens every month. And it happens either Stirling, Glasgow, Edinburgh. You can go for free to these events and meet some of the leading organizations on the world of data. And again, it gives you opportunity to develop your skills first, but more importantly, to make really good contacts in Scotland. So yeah, really interested in being part of that ecosystem. So those are the benefits. Now the class profile, this year we've got, I think, 27 students. That's roughly the number that we expect in this course. So it's large enough, but it's also small enough. So you get the opportunity to have lots of one-to-one interaction with the staff members. It's a very open environment, the University of Stirling. The staff members are very accessible. So if you knock their doors and if they are there, they'll be more than happy to speak to them. And that size of, we've found that over the years that size of group works well for having enough time to interact with the students. Sorry, I just been told I missed the microphone was off. I'll go back to the. I'm not too sure where, but tell you what, I'll just leave it to Q&As, and you can ask me questions later on. I think that would be the best approach. Okay, if you don't mind. Apologies for that. I don't know what happened with the microphone. Previous students. We've had lots of success. This is the second year that we've been running this course, but during these 2 years, our students have been incredibly successful in getting a number of awards. And I really hope as program director to keep that happening. You've got a few pictures there of some of our students getting their awards. There are some of the pictures from Datathon that Deloitte, the management consultancy, runs every year. And over the last 2 years, our students have won that datathon. So, and this is a datathon that involves students and industry or staff from industry all around Scotland. I guess the biggest award that we won, and one of our students won, was the one won by Anita George, and you can see the girl there on the left hand side of your image. And basically, Anita won the award for the best industry placement, and this is a placement or a prize is given to the best student across all universities in Scotland. So the project the student that does the best data science project across Scotland, and one of our students won it. So really excited. We were really happy with that, and we just want to keep doing this and get more awards for our students. Career paths. I know this is something that you're very interested in. A degree in data science basically opens many career paths. I think the previous slides probably gave you a bit of flavor of that. Data is needed by companies all around the world, across all different sectors, across all different sizes. Whether it's a startup company, whether it's a medium-sized company, whether it's a large company, from private, public, and third sectors. So really, the opportunities are there for you once you do the data science degree. Having said that, there are some sectors that at the moment are attracting more graduates, and that's because they've got a bigger skills gap. So, for example, the banking and finance sector is one that is attracting lots of graduates. The telecom sector is again attracting lots of graduates with data science skills. Health, very important as well, and you can see that the way that the health sector is transforming themselves is all around the better use of data and better predictive modeling, so they can treat their patients more efficiently and effectively. Management consulting, many of our students look for management consulting roles after they leave this degree, and hence we actually embed some of those skills development activities in the course. Marketing analytics, I mean, you've got all these big companies using social media data on a regular basis to actually improve the marketing strategies. Engineering and manufacturing, they've been probably a slower sector adopting data science skills, but they are coming into the forefront, and we work with, for example, Diageo, as I mentioned, in improving their processes through data science. Public sector, tourism, transport, all these are sectors that are really attracting lots of the graduates that come from our courses. I'm going to stop there. I've got two slides there with testimonials, and you can read that. I'm not going to read what one of our students said. That's Anita, the one I mentioned earlier on, and the one Anita won the best data lab award for the best project last year, and it's interesting because she had no data science background. Anita had an arts and creative architecture background, so this was a very totally new terrain for her, and yes, she will tell you that she went through a number of challenges, but the development of the Anita that came to the course and the Anita that left the course were very different people, and she's I think that was a fantastic step in her future career, and she's now working with the National Health Service in a really exciting job. And I also have a couple of testimonials, not just from students, but also from industry. And I think this is important to show you because I think, as I said at the beginning, we developed this course keeping in our mind that we wanted to fill a gap to industry. We wanted to make sure that the graduates were ready to actually hit the ground running with industry. And this is two totally different directors in two companies, one from Virgin Money, the other one from the National Health Service, telling us that our graduates are actually straight away delivering value to them, and that they want basically more of these skills with themselves. So I'm going to stop there. Apologies again, I know that I missed a couple of slides, but if I did that, I can answer any questions through the question and answers. So I'm going to go to the question and answers tab and see what the questions there are. I know that you don't have microphones, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the questions, and I will try to answer as best as I can. So the first one, I've got a question from Daniel, and Daniel is asking, do you have any plan to teach about GDPR, and how do you think it will benefit the data science in business? So good question, Daniel. GDPR is not a module that we teach, but GDPR will be covered across a number of modules. For example, in the big data scientific and commercial applications, we do a talk on GDPR. In fact, one of the professors in the school, William Webster, is a real expert on this field, and he does a number of talks on this area. In regards to how it will benefit data science in business, well, that remains to be seen. I think it's a step forward. I think it was well needed, because regulation wasn't keeping up to date with the developments in technology and data-related technology. So I think it will create a number of challenges in the short term for many companies, but in the long term will be very beneficial for both industry and society. I've got another question from Roger Adams, and Roger is asking, can you give an indication of the timetable for the course? i.e., is there a class time every day, or is it condensed into 1 or 2 or more days? So this really depends on the semesters. Both semesters are quite different, Roger. In the first semester, on average, probably you will have 3 days a week, which are quite intensive, and most of the teaching will be loaded in those 3 days, and maybe 1 day with maybe a couple of hours of teaching. And we try to keep at least 1 day relatively free, so you can actually relax, do some of your own hobbies as well, but also give you time to actually work on your assignments. In the second semester, it's slightly different. The second semester, we do a bit of block teaching. What we say block teaching is we run a couple of intense modules right at the beginning, and these are basically a module that runs for a week, 9 to 5. So that's a really kind of intensive teaching style. And the reason for doing that is because we want to give you a quick learning experience in those skills. These are the consultancy skills. So then you can actually apply them in the project you're going to be working with industry. So in the second semester, the teaching is very front-loaded. The first few weeks are very heavy on teaching, but then you've got less teaching in the second half of the semester, and more time to work on the project with your clients. I've got a question from Vivek. One of the many reasons I'm interested in this course is to get international working experience. I would like to stay and work there after completing this course, but visa restrictions for non-EU students is a worrying factor. Will I be able to get a full-time job post-course? I share your concerns, Vivek. I share your concerns, and I agree. And I agree that visa restrictions for non-EU students is a constraint. That's a fact. We cannot hide that fact. What I would say is that, I cannot give you an answer to your question, will you be getting a job at the end of the course? What I hope is that you're going to develop a number of opportunities while you're working here. You're going to develop experience. You're going to have opportunities to make contact with lots of companies while you work here. And we've got students who have remained here. We've got students that have worked with industry over the summer months as part of their project, and then the company has supported their visa applications to stay with us in Scotland. So again, I cannot give you an answer, but what I can tell you what I can tell you, sorry, is that there is lots of skills requirements in the UK and in Europe on data science skills. So companies are actively recruiting, and there is a recruitment gap at the moment. So opportunities are there. Whether you're gonna get a job or not, I cannot promise you. That would be just basically lying if I promised you. We've got Indian students, as I said before, that just secured a job with the NHS, and that's from our masters from the data science course. The other course that we offer, the big data, again, we've got a number of graduates from that course, no new students that have remained within Scotland. So I've got another question from Rogers. From Roger Adams, is there an option to complete the course on a part-time basis over 2 years instead of 1? At the moment, we don't have that opportunity. We're looking into creating a part-time opportunity. Having said that, this is not an offer for overseas students at the moment. So it doesn't, part-time study doesn't work for overseas students. I've got a question from Sully Alex. What are the scholarships available for international students? Also, what are the time frame before these scholarships are awarded to the students? The university has a number of scholarships. There's a Great India scholarship, but that's for students from India. I think we secured one. There's one scholarship for the Data Science for Business program. There is some other scholarship. I'm not 100% sure of the timings, but what I would suggest is that you go to the website, and you can go. There's a scholarship finder in the website, and that will give you more information about the scholarships that are available. So, okay, question from Vivek. Can you please let us know what programming languages and software tools we'll be using throughout the course? Thank you, Vivek. This is a question that comes over and over again. The core, I mean, it's interesting because if you look at data science courses across the UK, across the world, they tend to be very heavy on technology and tools. Okay, and there's a reason for that, because data science, you need to use tools and technologies. In reality, our course, and this is intentional for our course, we tried from the start to take emphasis from being too much focused on tools and technologies. And that was a message that we were getting from industry, because what companies like HSBC, for example, were telling us was, well, we can actually train the students on the technologies. Okay, we can send any students to a Python course, and 1 month, okay, and they will learn the basics and fundamentals of Python in that time, and they will be able to apply them. What we want as students is to really understand the principles and fundamentals of statistics and analytics first, and we want them to actually be able to, by using those principles, to understand and solve business problems. So we've taken the essence or the emphasis of the course from tools and technologies, and we're very much focused on the application of the principles of statistics and analytics in solving business problems. Okay, and the reason why I'm giving you this background is because when I look at courses that are very technology heavy, I see that there's always a gap in providing the students with enough managerial business understanding. You can be really good at applying Python, R, Tableau, all these things. If you don't understand the business problems and then the process to solve them, then it doesn't really matter how good you are with using Python. Okay, that's the background. Having said that, the key tools that you will be using are you'll be using SPSS, so you'll be an expert in SPSS. You'll be using R as well as a statistical tool. We run a number of SAS workshops as well. So we run the statistical module of SAS, and we do a bit of visual analytics version of SAS. This is about 6 to 8 hours of SAS we do. You learn some machine learning tools as well, like Weka. So those are the core modules you'll be looking at during the year. Again, the emphasis is not in the tools, it's in the application of different principles of data analytics to solve business challenges. Sorry, that was a big, long-winded answer, but I thought it was important to give you a background. Question from Ali Elijah. What is the relevant what is the relevance of data analytics to procurement and supply chain management? Well, that's interesting. We ran last year a project with, and this year, both projects with Diageo. Okay, so Diageo, as I said, is a leading global drinks manufacturer, one of the biggest ones in the world. And basically what they do is they produce drinks and they sell them all around the world. They've got plants all around the world, every single continent. They've got bottling plants, they've got sourcing plants, they've got warehouses, they've got logistics all around the world. So we've run 3 projects, 2 projects last year, and one was looking at forecasting models. So an improvement of 1% into Diageo's forecasting models can have an impact of millions of pounds on the bottom line. And they do that, the only way that you can improve forecasting models is by using data analytics tools. So, and very small improvements on that are going to have a massive impact on the bottom line, as I said. We also ran a project with them on looking their warehousing models. So looking at how they can create more efficient warehousing and logistics models so their supply chain is optimized. Again, if you consider that they've got plants all around the world, warehouses in every single corner of the planet, then a fraction of improvement in modeling the needs of their warehouses is going to bring lots of improvements to a company like Diageo. So yes, answering your answer, massive relevance, data science in procurement, sourcing, and supply chain management. And the other project I mentioned was Scotland Excel, which is the Scottish government agency for procurement. And we've worked with them in looking at their data strategy, or how they can use data to develop more efficient procurement models for the Scottish public service. So yes, massive area of opportunity there. One more question from Owolabi. I understand that domain knowledge, understanding the business environment is a necessity for a successful data analytics graduate. I want to understand that this will be part and parcel of this program. Yes, absolutely. That's my answer. Owolabi, I think you hit the nail on the head there. That's what this course is about. This course is not about developing the most sophisticated, technologically advanced data science graduates. It's about developing graduates that understand data analytics, they understand the potential, and then they can drive the application of data analytics to solve real business problems. So understanding the business environment is absolutely critical to this course. And again, I want to emphasize on that. That's the message that we're getting from companies. Companies are telling us that the reason why the students from this course are being so successful in industries because they can make that link between analytics and business problems. Another question from Daniel there. Well, I think I might have answered that. What is the main programming language you use for teaching the program? Just for me to prepare myself to try to learn these programs on my own free time. So yeah, I mean, so there's no programming in the course embedded. Okay, there is when you talk about programming language. So we don't do any programming and coding in the course. There are analytics programs and software that we use. As I said, you've got R. You've got SPSS, you've got Weka, we do a bit of SAS, but we don't do programming in the course. What I would say is that many of our students, beyond the content of the course, they are all studying, many of them are doing SQL, many of them are doing Python, because Python is not, again, embedded. We touch upon Python, but we don't teach heavily in this course. They are learning Tableau. So these are almost complementary tools that are learning on their own. What I would say, if you're going to focus on something, Daniel, it would be about, I don't know what your background is, but what I would say is try to focus on developing your statistics knowledge. Data science is not about tools. It's about understanding the principles of the statistics. That's at the core and at the heart of data analytics. So anything that you can do to improve your understanding of statistical knowledge, then it's going to really help you, not just for this course, but also in your future as a data scientist. Vivek is asking, I'm interested in fintech domain. Can I specialize or take fintech related courses in this program? So we've got a particular module on as an elective that you can take, Vivek, which is risk management in banking, which is a core module to a new fintech MSc program that we're also launching. So that particular module, I would say, would be the most relevant for you to take. Then the other interesting thing here is that many of the projects that we run are, fintech is an interesting word. People have different definitions of fintech as well. But for example, the two projects that we've run with Deloitte over the last 2 years have been around fintech, they've been around open banking and developing solutions for the open banking sector. So around payment systems or technology to drive that drives open banking. So fintech, you will have opportunities to expose yourself and develop expertise in the fintech domain, both through one of the electives that I mentioned, but also through the projects. Is linear programming a part of the data science module? I mean, is it part of the scope of data analytics professional? So linear programming, yes, linear programming is an important skill of a data scientist. It's not the only data science critical skill. You'll do a bit of that in the statistics module, just understanding the fundamentals behind linear programming, and there is a bit of linear programming done in the data analytics course as well. But we don't necessarily heavily emphasize on that. Is there the option to defer an admission? Yes, I think that's a question from Kelvin Kubin. So we can talk about that, Kelvin. I think if you talk to either contact me directly or to our admissions team, they can give you more background on admissions and the process of deferring an admission. That's a common procedure for those students that need it. I think I don't know if you've got any other questions. That was the last question I was seeing in my screen. I've got another question there. Upon completion of this program, is it possible to progress to a PhD? Is there anyone with Stirling at the moment? So we're always looking for good candidates that want to do a PhD. In fact, that's probably my induction in the program. I always tell them about good career opportunities in industry. I always like to emphasize the option of doing a PhD. Yes, there are good opportunities to do PhDs. One of the graduates from last year is doing a PhD, not with us. He moved to a different university because the kind of domain specialism they had. We've got a really strong team of academics here, really interested in research on data analytics. So yes, there's an opportunity. What I would say is we've got if you go to our website and you're interested in a PhD, there is a Find a Supervisor tool that helps you navigate through the PhD application process as well, Lavi. And if you've got any particular ideas, topic ideas, feel free to email me directly to me, and whether it's me or one of my colleagues, I can put you in touch with the relevant people. Before applying to the data science for business program, I was also attracted to the big data program. Oops, that question disappeared before I answered. I guess you were asking what the. Okay, yes, I think I know how to get there. Before applying for the data science for business program, I was also attracted to the big data program. Is there any difference between them? Absolutely. So the big data program is based in computer science. Data science for business program is based in the management school. No, that's not the difference, but I think that's again, it's providing context. So we share modules, so I know the program director very well, and we work collaboratively. We share modules, so the big data scientific applications module and the data analytics module are core modules of the big data program, and these are modules that you will take as part of the data science program as well. You will also share many of the events, project work, and skills development programs with the big data students. The emphasis on the big data masters is more on the technologies as I said before, technologies of data science is more in Hadoop, cluster computing. Those are much more relevant. There's more emphasis on that. In the data science for business, again, we try to take some of the emphasis from the technologies, not all, because technologies are important, and we emphasize really about the use of the technologies to solve business challenges and business problems. Okay, so it's that link between the application of analytics and advanced managerial skills, which is the core essence of the data science for business program, which is different from the big data one, which focuses more on the technologies. Will the consultancy project be available to every student who wants to opt for this instead of the dissertation? We try to. That's the honest answer. We try to. Last year, all the students that wanted to do a consultancy project did a consultancy project. And last year, as we speak, I'm hoping they're going to allocate all the students that want to do a consultancy project, a project with industry. I'm just in the process, as we speak, of finalizing those allocations, and the figures are looking very positive. So again, I cannot promise. We try to work hard. This is very demand driven. So we need companies to come to us telling us that they've got projects. I very proactively, I'm out of the office very regularly, just talking to companies, finding projects. So again, it's not a promise, but the opportunity is there. And in the last 2 years, we've been very successful in securing consultancy projects for those students that wanted to do one. Another question from Vivek. I follow the Data Lab. There are a lot of events happening around Scholar for Data Lab. Students and international students like me participate in such events. Yes, as a program director, I'm a big advocate that all students, home, EU, and international, should have the same learning opportunities. You will be attending many of the events that Data Lab organizes. All the students, home and international students, attended the Data Talent event at the end of March. This is part of the Data Fest. And Data Talent is an event with over 600 participants. And basically, it's almost like a recruitment fair. So you've got some of the leading leading industries coming to really actively recruit people with data science skills. And all our students, both home and international, were invited. As a program leader, I've got that obligation to make sure that the opportunities for all the students are exactly the same, and we work very hard on doing that. That was the last question. I don't know if you've got any other questions. I mean, we can certainly share my contact details with all of you. I'll be more than happy to take any questions after this meeting. And also, if any of you want to arrange a Skype call, I will be more than happy to talk to you on a one-to-one basis on a Skype call as well. So please do not hesitate to contact me with any particular questions. And I know that QS will deal with many of the questions. Sorry, I've got one more question there with Kelvin, and he's asking, how many electives are we allowed to choose at the second semester? So it really depends on some modules have a different credit weighting than others. So you've got 20 credits worth of electives to choose from. Okay, so if you choose data analytics, that's a 20 credit module basically. So you would choose one. If you choose risk management and banking, that's again a 20 credit module. So you could only choose one. If you choose the more management related modules like innovation management, like project management, those are 10 credits. So you would be able to choose 2 to make up the 20 credits. Okay, so as I said, it's 20 credits worth of electives you can choose. Okay, Daniel is saying, I hope I can learn more about GDPR in this course. Just a wish though. That's fine, Daniel. And as I said, it's interesting because there will be GDPR, some GDPR embedded in the course. The important thing is, if you're interested in GDPR, why not do your project in the summer on GDPR? I think you've got, the summer is a full semester there that it helps you specialize in a topic that you want to develop your expertise. So the scope is there for you to develop that. And what we would do during the summer is to actually allocate you with a supervisor that hopefully has that expertise. Someone like my colleague, Professor William Wester, who's a leading person in GDPR at the moment. So you will really learn well by doing that as well. So remember that the project in the summer gives you a scope to focus and specialize on areas that you think are more relevant to you in your future. Vivek is asking, can you please tell us placement percentage of students in previous batch? By placement percentage, I understand that you mean how many students did the consultancy project over the summer. So basically we had 13 out of 17 students. Last year we had 17 students, that was the first year, so a smallish cohort. Out of the 17, 13 did a consultancy project and 4 did the dissertation. And the 4 of them wanted to do a dissertation. So last year, everyone that wanted to do a consultancy project did a consultancy project. I think I'm answering your question there, Vivek. I think that's what you refer to by saying placement percentage. So 13 out of 17, you can do the calculations to get the percentage there. Thank you to you too. Okay, so I think we're gonna conclude here. I'm aware of time as well. Listen, thank you all for attending the webinar. I'm delighted that you have participated. You have all fantastic answers. I hope I managed to answer some questions. As I said, feel free to contact me. Happy to speak to you by email or Skype. I'm now going to pass it to my colleague who will actually conclude this session. Thanks again and all the best.